Oh, hi. It's day 4 of the challenge, of the 7-day challenge, and it's me, Sandra. I'm glad to see that you've come back and you've kept up with the challenge. What can I talk about today? Well, it's been a bit challenging today for me. That's why I've come on a bit late. Ideally, as part of the challenge, we was asked to exercise. I'm going to exercise for 5 days out of 7, for at least an hour, and also watch what I eat. So that's what the challenge was. It's a food and fitness challenge, should I say? Now, so with regards to the exercise, it's been a bit challenging. For me today. I love Anybody knows me knows that I really enjoy cycling, and the reason I enjoy cycling is because where I live there's a really good river cycle path. So when you cycle by the river, you feel really good. I feel the wind on my face, and I just love it. Anyway, I as I spoke about earlier this month, this week, sorry, should I say, the my bicycle has a puncture, so it was off the road. So I thought I'd get really inventive and I'd try and get it working somehow. So today I got all my puncture kit out and to try and repair the puncture. I took the bike off the wheel off the bike, I turned it upside down, everything, and I was feeling really adventurous. And it took me ages, to be fair. And when I took the inner tube out, and I was looking for the puncture. I was feeling for it. I couldn't feel any air, and I couldn't see there was any puncture in it. So I just thought maybe I hadn't given it enough air to pump up the tire. So I put it back into, I put it the inner tube back into the wheel, and I put it back on my bike, which took, as I said, ages. And but I was really pleased that I had that done. I had that all done. I was really pleased, and I had that set out ready to go. And I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. So usually I like to exercise in the morning, but because it took me so long to do that, I was going to say, okay, I'll exercise in the afternoon. And then in the middle of the day, I got kind of sidetracked to say, oh, I was watching television, and then I got sidetracked as to do a little bit of baking. So I did some baking, and I cooked a chocolate muffin, and because I like baking, but I kind of made some changes to try and make it a little bit more healthier. So after all that was done, and my daughter came down, and so I decided to make some sauce to go with it after she tasted it and said it was okay. So I said, after all that was done, I said, let me go for my cycle now. And as soon as I got onto my bike to cycle, I got as far as my front gate, and the front wheel was flat again. And I was so upset. I had to take the bike back inside. Um, as But as you know, the challenge is to exercise, so I still had to exercise. So instead of cycling today, I did my walk, which I like doing, but sometimes I like a change. And so I ended up doing the walk as well, which is almost 5k, not quite 5k, and kilometers. And I did the walk, and I came back home, and then after that I had my lunch, which I'll show you on the next, which I'll show you shortly, what I had for lunch. So all in all, the challenge has been going quite well. I've been consistently doing my exercisings. There are a few things that I need to get sorted out, i.e., one of them is I need to kind of upgrade my trainers and my walking shoes, because they're all right if I'm doing cycling or I'm on the cross trainer, but if you're doing a lot of walking, you kind of need something that's going to and you're doing a lot of walking on concrete, you need something that's going to lessen the impact on your joints and things like that. So I really need to upgrade that at my trainer. So that's something I need to do. But until I do that, I'm going to have to try and probably do the cross trainer more, and definitely get my bike sorted out, because I really want to do that again. So in terms of what I'm eating and things like that, I've found out since I'm doing the challenge, I've really got to make sure I'm getting enough protein, and I'm getting enough vitamins, and I'm getting enough calcium intake as well. Calcium is so important, especially if you're women of certain age. It's important for all of us, but if you're a woman that's gone through the change and you no longer if you're a woman that's gone through the change and you no longer have the protective effect of your cycle with the estrogen component, you need to, it's advisable, not advisable, I mean, generally you have to have your enough calcium so you can protect your bones, to protect from, osteoporosis or osteoporosis, which is a kind of called like a brittle bones and things like that. So I was noticing that when I started the challenge and I was doing exercises, I was initially, when I wasn't getting enough protein in it and I wasn't getting enough calcium in, I was kind of feeling a bit achy in my joints and things like that. So yeah, watch out for that. And I'd had some vitamins that I was taking, and I didn't realize that the vitamins that I was taking, these vitamins I was taking before I'd gone through the change, they were high in iron content, but they were very low in calcium, and I hadn't realized that until I actually looked at it the other day and thought, oh, there's really not much calcium in that. For me, and as I don't actually eat much dairy, in terms of I don't drink cow's milk. I drink plant-based milk, soya, and so I've got to really make sure I am keeping that up. So yeah, since I've upped the content and my calcium and things like that, the eggs have gone. They're not. I realised that there's a certain place on my right hip, if I'm not getting enough calcium, or if I'm not, that it's a certain place, and if that starts aching, I know that I'm deficient in something. And as I take quite a few different vitamins, I realized it was possibly the calcium, and it was that, in that respect. So yeah, check for yourselves. Obviously, you always got to look out for your multivitamins, making sure you're getting enough. Check with your doctors and so forth, or your nutritionist. Just to make sure you're getting enough, especially if you're increasing your exercise, because that means you're burning a lot more calories. You're using, you need to put in a lot more nutrients in order to maintain your wellness, your fitness, to stay at optimal levels. So right, so yesterday I actually made a lunch yesterday which served for yesterday and today, and it should have been it was kind of like a vegetarian kind of bake, but it as a friend of mine would say, it was pretty flavor locked. The childhood friend, which basically meant that the flavor was locked somewhere that you couldn't really find it. It wasn't awful, but it was just not. It was very bland. And so what I ended up doing, just to give it a bit more flavor, is I added some tuna to it. And I found that when I added the tuna to it, it made it taste a lot better. Bear in mind, in terms of as I shared with you before, because I'm trying to, decrease my blood pressure. I kind of minimize the salt intake, so it's really got to be flavor. I've really got to get the flavor from somewhere else. So yeah, but when I added the tuna, it tasted lovely. So I'll just give you an idea. Let's have a look. What I ate today for dinner. This was for dinner. I had something else for breakfast, but just so you can see, this is what I had, and that was the tuna vegetable potato bake. As I said, it was really a vegetable potato bake, and all I did was I had a tin of tuna in oil, and I just added half of that to it, and after it had already been cooked, and it was lovely like that. I also had the treat. What I said, I cooked the muffin today, and I made it a, it was a healthy muffin. It had flax seeds in it, or linseed, and it had wholemeal flour, and it was healthy. It did have sugar in it though, but and it had peanut butter in it, just to kind of, it was more healthier than the box standard, and I knew what was in it, and I had half of that with chocolate and coconut sauce, chocolate coconut sauce. Oh, it was nice, but I didn't have too much of it. And I had the nettle, and I finished it off with the nettle drink. Now the nettle drink is awesome for me. I find it's awesome because what it does is it really does curb your appetite. It just cuts out that. If you're anything like, I'm like a cake holic, should I say? I don't know. I love cakes, but so once I eat one, I have to eat two. I have to eat three. Usually, that's what happens when I'm buying them out, from the stores. But the one I made, I didn't have to, because after I ate the half and I'd had my full food, I had the nettle drink, and it just cut that the craving. Oh, it was great. I found it was really good. So that's what I did, and that's what I had for lunch. And I'm still full now. It's been really good. And as I showed you before, as I shared with you before, I try and drink at least almost a liter and a half with the nettle drink, and it's really helped. It really helps me to keep my cravings in check. Yes, it's early days, but and bear in mind, I haven't been weighing myself. I've purposely not been doing that. I've just weighed myself at the beginning. I've decided only to weigh myself once a month now. This is just my personal thing, because I just don't want to be too obsessed with my weight like that. So I haven't been weighing myself, so I don't know if I'm losing anything weight or not. But what I do know is I am feeling a lot better in terms of my mental health, and also my blood pressure seems to be stabilizing. Yeah, so I'm finding that quite helpful on that. So yeah, so day 4 we're there. This is my personal challenge. I don't know if you're joining or not, but this is what I'm doing now. I do have to let you know, if you do have any health conditions and so forth, as I said, this is my personal challenge, but I suggest you go see your doctors if you're worried about anything in terms of being able to join the challenge or not. See, you can always. So this is just the information about the challenge, so you can read that at your leisure. It's about movement, physical exercise, 1 hour a day out of the 7 days, 5 days out of the 7, and also fluids, aiming for 1.5 litres of fluids a day, unless medically you're not advised to drink that amount of fluids. Okay, so have a look at that at your leisure. And that's the important disclaimer. Just to know that it is my personal challenge. So if you have any medical conditions, please consult your doctors to see if it's okay for you to take part. Okay, so all the best then. I'll see you tomorrow, and let's get going. Yeah, let's do this if you can. All right then. Bye.